We're on video 132, aiming for our Pilates breathing connection, okay? So video 132, if you want to tune in. Hi Sarah, great to see you in the room. You will need your head cushion and obviously your mat as normal. If you've done the warm-up with the legs, that's amazing. I'm just going to switch on the other camera, and glad to see everyone's in the room. That is great. So Lindsay, Tom, etc., etc. So for this is floor work. You'll find yourself for video 132, lying on your back. Make sure you can see your screen. It is a lying down moment to start with. Hi Diane as well. Lying down with your head cushion. The first part of the workout is about rhythm with breath, and obviously in lying down, I'll give us a few moments. Hi Ken. Make sure your clothing feels level. If you've got lots of layers on. And I tend to put my hands to the sides of a mat and get the sense that I've got symmetry in the space I'm lying in. My palms by the sides of my thighs, I wriggle around a bit. At this point my head cushion's under my skull, although we will be moving that. Be sure to have a head cushion if you can. Hi Jackie and Dan, lovely to see you both. You're breathing in and out because you know that that's the source of all power, is the breath. So breath is happening deeply already. I'm going to start us with the 100 position as a warm-up for the breathing muscles before I go into much more of a flow. Get the breath going in and out, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Your sensation of your ribcage expanding and contracting is clearly there. The reason I'm going a little bit slower at this moment is I can't assume that everyone doing this video will have done the warm-up that we've just done, which was our legs, really quite a big blast making blood flow. If you're doing this video from cold, as in you've just finished work, you definitely need to find your breath, find your resting onto the ground before you end up taking the pelvis to a gentle imprint using pelvic floor. Breathe, exhale, curl up through the head, neck and shoulders. Pull one leg up, hold on to it, pull the second leg up, pull the thighs together. Use your breathing, wriggle and swiggle to feel level. A few reminders, your shoulder blades only are off the floor, just the tip of the base of the scapula of the shoulder blade. And you're inhaling and exhaling. Now we're going to roll down with the breath in and exhale, roll up. Your elbows will bend if you allow your body to be assisted, rightly so, by some arm connection. The arms rolling helps the shoulder move, and when you're stiff early morning or stiff because of age and stage, then it's not wrong to allow more mobility. I've classified this workout as breathing to mobilise and stabilise because that's exactly what we're going to do. If you're comfortable with the breath out and you're happy to stay, you're breathing in 2, 3, 4 and out 2, 3, 4. You're breathing into the back, you're breathing into your back into the ground. You're only in imprint, you're not in massive bum tilt, and you're keeping the rib cage connection. If this goes to your neck, simply keep going up and down. If you can send the legs up and down, then do so. And I have this long-standing conversation with some people, one of them lives with me, that you don't straighten your legs if it goes straight to your back. You just do a little bit of a movement like I'm demonstrating here. Inhaling, and you only move the legs on the breath out. If I don't think about my pelvis, it tends to want to list over towards my left-hand side. So as my breath happens, I keep the connection to my right-hand side. I'm very aware of breathing from hip bones to ribcage to hip bones. And my legs aren't the main event. They're helping a rhythm, and they're stopping the knees lock out actually. So whenever your legs can move, your knee joints get to continuously activate in a nice unloaded way. Okay people, that was you warming up. Pull your knees in and place your feet down. The head cushion will now go in between your thighs. So your thigh bones are parallel, your heels are under your knees, your arms are by your sides. In being here without the head cushion, you've possibly got a bigger space behind you. That really is fine. First things first, then we're going into what we call hip rolls into a spine bridge. You breathe in. Breathing out, exhale to pelvic tilt and start to roll the spinal column one bone at a time to the base of the shoulder blades. Females think bra, and people like Tom and Ken just think of the base of your scapular middle ribs. Now on the next breath in, you make return your spine down. Well, as we do this activity, I need you to be very slow and make it about a developing breath. If you want to pull your heels under your knees a bit more, do so. The breath out, the pelvic floor connects, the hips roll, and then you roll up, and you can pull against your pad. I would rather you don't go too high than you go so high that it all ends up in your lumbar spine, and then we're going to take the spine down. Remember, I'm cueing you to develop breathing to move the spine. We're going to add the arms to that. Exhaling your pelvic curl, pelvic tilt, and roll the spine, pressing into your heels, and float your arms either to behind your head or to your sides, and then inhaling, you'll take your arms down, simultaneously rolling through the spine until you find yourself back into neutral. Exhale, pelvic curl and roll. Float your arms backwards or sideways. Don't use your back extensors. Press down through your heels. Inhaling. Place the ribs. Imagine you're reaching the spine away from the neck as you find the journey back to base. And exhaling. Floating your arms. Don't overdo the lift of the spinal column. If it ends up in your lower back, you're not doing the exercise I'm prescribing. Inhaling, your arms stay connected with your shoulders, and you find yourself coming all the way back down. Exhaling. Now that you understand the range of movement exercise, go into technique and looking for symmetry. Inhaling the spine, the stiffer you are, the more likely you are to not go very high. Alright, so don't do too big a raise, but going just below the rib cage behind you is sufficient for this activity to mobilise you and create space in the spine. We're just going to do two more. Inhaling to go down, exhaling, the spinal roll takes you up, your hips have lifted, and your hamstrings have contributed to the range of movement, and the abdominals have worked to stabilise and support the spine. Now from here, I've been pushing myself off the mat a bit, not quite sure how that happened, but from here then, you're going to go spinal roll as you've been doing. That was the breath out. Inhaling, return your spine down, and as you find yourself back in neutral, exhale, and add the abdominal curl. Inhaling, so it's the reverse movement of the spine, it goes down, and exhaling as you start to rotate, tilt, roll, you go into the position that you've been practicing for the last sort of 8-7 reps. And exhaling, inhale, down you go. And breath out, up you'll flow. Breathe in, rolling your spine down. Breathing out, picking up your tailbone, and it doesn't matter where you don't go to, it's more that you get the hamstring and the spine connection. If you wanted to do this as 4 breaths, to be honest, it possibly would be a nicer activity. But whichever way, exhaling to pelvic tilt and allow the spine hip roll connection. Inhale to reverse the journey. Finding yourself imprinting then neutral. Exhaling to do the opposite range. The thoracic spine now flexors. We'll do one more rolling. So this is the main part of your breathing connection. Ribs, ribs, ribs as you place the spine down, and then exhaling, curling up. You're going to step as we transition then to pulling both legs up into tabletop. Inhaling and exhaling. Pull the inner thighs tight together. Keep the breath going. Inhaling and exhaling. Big squeeze on the inner thigh. You should find the position now, we did this at the very beginning, it's almost easier to maintain. Okay, and then down you come. Pull the knees in, take the pad from between your thighs and pop that pad under the skull again. Pull your right knee in towards your chest and send your left leg out. Reach the left leg to wherever you can maintain an imprint of the lumbar. So exhaling, you curl up, your leg has reached away. Breathe in, pull that leg that was out. Exhale, push the other leg away. Inhaling, and the inhale is the knees coming back together. The breath out is the leg reaching. If you find that you start to twist, then you're not using your abdominals and you need to take care. So we're staying up. I'm switching from one side to the other. The thigh in this action, it's like a bicycle, can pull right towards your nose. You can see I'm hoping I'm demonstrating this as you reach the leg. Remember, the leg that reaches out, it only goes as low as you can actually maintain imprint of the spine. And exhale to push. Inhale, return. Breath out to push. Inhale, return. You've just got one more. Breath out to push. Inhale, return. Pull your knees in. Let your head go down. And allow the head to roll side to side. Take the tension out of the neck. You're breathing in and out. We should have already felt some abdominal connection. It's going to increase in its intensity. Now that you've released your neck, next position then, exhale, curl up, hands behind the head. You're going to pull your knee to your chest and pull your elbows in. Breathe. That's the exhale. Inhale, pull the legs back. Exhale, other side. Inhale, pull the knees back. Exhale. Now you can add a little bit more of a reaching towards the opposite thigh with the opposite elbow. As my left knee comes in, my right elbow pulls in, and vice versa. That's the exhale. Inhale, centre, exhale. If you go back to awareness of the shoulder blades, you'll never quite move beyond that lifting moment. It's as though I almost pivot on the scapular edge, the inferior angle, that lowest part, that tip. Now you're not rolling sideways. I can see my thigh of the knee that's pulling towards my opposite elbow. I'm not throwing my head from one way to the other. And the pelvis needs to stay absolutely true. Go more down, exhale, reach. Breathe in and centre. Exhale, reach. Inhale and centre. And pull yourself back in. I've one more exercise to do here for you. But I need you to find your breath again. You're breathing deeply in and out. And then straighten out one leg towards the ceiling and reach the other leg away. And then you're going to curl, pull that leg to you for 1, 2, and then pull the legs back to bend. Exhale, other leg to the ceiling, curl, pull it to you, sniff, sniff, and then inhale, legs bent. Exhale, curl, split the legs, scissors, 1, 2, pull the legs back to you. And so this is like an active stretch. This is the mobility of the hip. Without breathing, mobilizing and stabilizing and stretching doesn't really take place, just bracing and fixing. So exhaling, sniff, sniff, inhale, exhaling to curl, and one more. So whether you stayed up or uncurled and curled, the essence of that activity is that your legs stretched out. Okay, people. From there, you're going to come to seated. I'm going to actually turn and face the screen for this. I chose to take my trainers off today, thinking it's so much easier and nicer, but it's so cold on my feet, I can't feel them. You're in what we call the kind of seated straddle. Wherever your legs do or don't go is where you want to be. If you've got really tight hamstrings, your legs will be bent, and they might even be here, it doesn't really matter. You're aiming to get your back as straight as you can. So if I was to be here now, your back as straight as you can and your chest open. I've said you can have bent legs, and it doesn't matter if you're slightly leaning back because you can't sit up tall because of your hamstring length. Whichever way, as you breathe in and out then, I'm going to show with legs bent. Once you push your chest up and got that sense of being right onto your sit bones, pull your arms forwards and then breathing out, nod the chin. Keep your arms by your ears to get the stretch through the upper back. Inhale and return back again, pulling your shoulder blades back to seated neutral. Exhale, chin nod and reach. Inhale, return back to seated neutral. 2 more. Remember, we're breathing the spine into more freedom and therefore strengthening the core muscles that achieve that end. If you're not breathing, you're not going to get it. Exhaling. Feel the rib cage flex you, but your waistband from here to the tailbone goes nowhere. And we'll do one more. Exhaling, chin nod. Follow the breath out. Follow the fold over your breast pec line. And inhaling tall. You can keep your legs straight, remember, or bent, it doesn't matter. We're now going to do what we call saw. So as you hold this shape, again I'll sit facing you. First part of this is I can see my hands through peripheral vision. Breathe out and pull your shoulder blades together. Inhale and release. I'm going to layer the cueing, so see if you can get this. Exhale as your shoulders squeeze, press down through the legs. Think of the back of your knee joint opening out and pull your toes to your hips. Flex at the ankle. The rib cage wants to contract. It drops down and lengthens as it finds your oblique waistline. This is like your midriff and between your shoulder blades activation. This is your last one. Keep hands in peripheral vision. Take your left hand behind you. Take your right hand across. You add a rotation of the ribcage shoulder, and then on the breath out, roll down, saw off your little toe. You're rolling the ribcage spine, not the hips. Reverse that roll and come to center, inhaling. Breathing out, rotational breath out, ribcage, hand reaches backwards. On the next breath out, forwards roll and get the stretch to happen down the outside of the waist, and then returning back. And repeat, hands through peripheral vision. I turn the hand that wants to go behind me backwards and down. I keep the other hand facing outwards. Exhaling. The hand that's behind me reaches for the floor to ground me. The other hand reaches for my little toe without my opposite side lifting at the hip. And I reverse back again. When you do this exercise to the best of your physical postural ability, it really does stretch you completely where it's needed. So in this shape then, your hand is to the floor behind you and the fingertips are reaching and the breath goes in and out of the sideways side hip. Nothing's happening to the lumbar spine. Remember that twist, it's a rotation of the shoulder and the neck, therefore the head. Nothing at the hips, nothing at the waist. It's your rib cage to your nose. Exhaling. And your forwards rotation, flexion, doesn't lift your hip and doesn't strain your lumbar spine. We're going to do one more. Inhaling, breathe out. The corkscrew style of the spinal mobilizing, it kind of gets longer, then we flex, paying attention to the activation staying in the high waist all the way through to the armpit. And then you're going to let that go. Bring your feet together. And you're going to put your hands behind you, ground your feet, have your thigh bones just a normal parallel position and open your chest. This is another chest open. I'm sat right up on the back of my sit bones. I'm core connected. It's not massively intense on the abs, but I know I'm doing it and I haven't shrunk into my shoulders. Margaret, watch this one. Anyone with shoulder issues, just watch. Because if you've already rounded here, this isn't going to be great for you. Exhaling then. Pull the hip bones up, open the chest, have a look at the ceiling above you, breathe, check there are no cobwebs, and then breathing out again. Lower down, as though you want to stop the ground finding your bottom. So it's like you're pushing the ground away with your upper body. Exhale then, pelvic floor, navel to spine. Elevation, open the hip. And then open the chest. I'm pressing the ground away with my armpit tricep area, that's back of the upper arm. My core's connected and coming back down again. You're just going to do 2 more. If you can't lift, just hold the position because that means that's your progression. Exhaling, you know it's not right to lift if it goes into the front of the shoulder or the lower back. And inhaling, imagine you're resisting gravity as you lower that pelvis down. You have 1 more. Up we go. Pulling the shoulder blades towards each other, opening the collarbones. Have a glance at the ceiling and then core connecting. Resist gravity as you bring the pelvis down with symmetry. Give yourself a rounding hug to take away anything untoward, and then come on to your hands and knees. So in the hands and knees position, we haven't done much planking yet in this lockdown, and we need to get back into planking so we can get back into single arm moves. We're going to go plank, all fours, plank, all fours for this workout. So breathing deeply in, exhaling, shoulders away from the neck, rib cage, navel, spine. Plant the foot out, stabilise through pelvic floor, navel, spine, and plant your other foot out. Stay, breathe in. Breathing out and return that leg bent to ground, and then the second leg. Go back out again with the leg that just came in. Deliberately push the ground away. Remind your stability armpit area of what should be taking place. And the pelvic shape, spine shape, stays completely still as you find your powerful place, and then come in and in. The thing to watch with this one is that when you get to plank, which is here, that you really do ground yourself through both your feet, and both hands. You'd be surprised what happens. So notice that the next time we do it. Breathe. 1, grounded. Second foot, grounded. Are both hands and both feet grounded? And then you're ready to come back in. And repeat. Exhaling. 1 foot, breathe. Second leg, breathe. Grounded. Abdominals, hands, feet, glutes, and come back in and back in. Now stay where you are. Walk your hands a bit further back. Push your bottom back up to the ceiling and come to the down dog type of stretch. If you can't get your legs straight, don't worry, bend them. You get a hamstring stretch, a shoulder stretch. Pull your chest forwards. Don't crank your neck too much, really. This is all about length and strength of hamstrings. And then slowly bend the knees in. Let the head hang and roll your spine back up. Standing upright. Take your arms up in the air and reach them wide. Take your feet slightly wider. And imagine you could push the gravity away from you, but like we did on the plank, press down through your heels and up through your hands, but breathe. You can look up to the ceiling or across your ceiling forwards of you if it's in your neck, but you're pressing as though you could push gravity or the sky away and the ground away, and then exhale, bring your arms down and roll your shoulders. There you have had your Pilates stability, mobility, breathing version of life. You should experience more mobility in the body now, but hey, if you don't, the chances are you won't breathing through most of it. Please stay tuned. It was great to get through another couple of videos. Hopefully, if you give me pointers, I can actually deliver what you need. Those of you doing Zoom, enjoy. If you're not in Zoom but want Zoom, just let us know. Other than that, stay warm, and you'll be glad you're not in the studio because it's rather cold. Great to be together. Stay well and be in touch. Bye bye.